Hi everybody, Tara Greener. I just want to mention that this is the astrology chart for the summer solstice, which was yesterday, June the 20th, 10:43 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, set for Washington, D.C., where you can see the ascendant right there at 4 degrees of Aquarius with Pluto sitting right on the ascendant. I just got finished doing a presentation for the summer solstice for the Cosmic Intelligence Agency on Facebook, and I just heard the news that the U.S. under Trump had just bombed 3 nuclear power sites in Iran. And so this is a chart. This chart is a predictive chart for the next 3 months, and there's Pluto, the planet of nuclear energy, destruction, stealth in Aquarius using new technology, right there on the ascendant. So that's what's coming in. That's the energy. Now, there's also some quite tense energy going on for the solstice. Again, this is a chart that you would use to predict what's going to go on for the next 3 months. And you can see the sun in Cancer, 0 degrees of Cancer, connected to Jupiter, the planet of expansion, opportunity, the positive planet, the easygoing. Jupiter rules foreigners. It rules airplanes, by the way. It rules religion. So there's Jupiter and Cancer together. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer this year, which means that it's much more beneficial, much more expansive. But Jupiter can also be too much of a good thing. So expect to overeat. Expect a lot of emotional eating. Expect a lot of water issues, flooding, tsunamis, hurricanes this year, and also over the next 3 months. But so Jupiter and the Sun are in conjunct, or 150 degrees, 5 signs apart from Pluto. So that's what those little green dotted lines are there. And the aspect lines, this is sacred geometry. Astrology works with this sacred geometry. It's really important. You don't really understand astrology until you can read this chart with those mathematical aspects. Now, the planet Mars is also in conjunct to Pluto. So Mars in Virgo, 2 degrees Virgo, in conjunct. Virgo's an earth sign, Aquarius is an air sign, Cancer is a water sign. All those elements don't really see each other. Yes, Mars and the Sun and Jupiter work well together. That means there's military, there's action, there's physical stuff. It's Virgo. It's taking care of business. It's responsibility. Again, it's Earth. It's harvesting. And so Jupiter and Mars are supportive, and they're all, Sun, Jupiter, and Mars, all in conjunct, or quincunx, can't see Pluto in Aquarius, which is leading the energy here. Okay, now Pluto is also sextile, or in a very supportive aspect, to Neptune and Saturn at the beginning degrees of Aries. So you can see so many planets in the first 2 or 3 degrees of signs is quite unique as well. So Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto supporting each other, but they're also in conjunct, or quincunx, to Mars. So this is a very unusual aspect. It's called an anvil. You can see it looks like an anvil. Again, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, can't see Mars in Virgo, kind of doing the dirty work, taking care of business, taking care of the budgets. And also Mars and Jupiter in Cancer, the sign of the homeland security, can't see Pluto in Aquarius, which is aggressive, destruction, wealth, plutocrats, right? Societal change, revolution, freedom, all those things apply to Aquarius. So really, this chart is really bang on. Now, the moon, which represents the people, the collective mood, is in Taurus. It was right at 0 degrees of Taurus as well, right on the solstice. So the sun and the moon were sextile each other. So a lot of nice, you can see all those little short blue lines, planets supporting each other. But that Mars and Pluto in conjunct, they're both scorpionic, death, rebirth, transformation, wealth, shadow work. This is the shadow collective. Are we going to create a whole new higher consciousness world, or are we just using technology to change society? It's about who controls the ideology. Aquarius has, just like any other sign, has many different ramifications. On the highest side, Aquarius represents the stars in the tarot. It's about higher consciousness, feeling that we as individuals remember our starry origins, that we were created by star beings, and that we want to bring down that higher consciousness and be conduits for that. But it's also very fixed, a fixed air sign. That means it can get caught in ideologies like communism, Marxism, whatever ism you want to apply to that. Whatever you think is different or goes against society, whatever you're protesting about, can be an ideology which can work against everybody, actually. It doesn't bring freedom, it brings actually the opposite. You get chained, you get stuck in the ideology, and you force it on people, okay? So my ideas are right. The way I think is right. That's very Aquarian, okay? Now, Aquarius is all about everybody as an individual having rights, but nobody higher than anybody else. It's quite matriarchal in society. Matriarchal structures had no kings or queens. Everybody was equal, although it was matriarchal focused, right? Because everybody worships the goddess. And these equinoxes and solstices, even though it's about the sun has just peaked in the northern hemisphere where summer starts and winter begins down under, but the sun now starts to die. So the old myth about the dying king in the Lord of the Rings, for example, these archetypal stories, the Oak King dies. It's now the feminine that takes over for the next 6 months of the year, and everything's in perfect balance and harmony. You have to have those complementary polarities, but this is a pretty intense time. Again, Aquarius, revolution, freedom, protests, new societal structures, taking down the old, bringing in the new. This is where we destroy the past. Remember that Saturn rules Aquarius traditionally, okay, and Uranus rules Aquarius. Now, Uranus is also at 29 degrees of Taurus in an earth sign. So again, that Uranian energy, atomic energy at the very last degree, the most critical degree of Taurus. We've had enough. We can't take it anymore. Taurus got to do something, got to get off the couch. It's physical, it's stubborn, it's fixed. Again, that's why it's so stubborn. It's material, it's resources. So destroying the resources with Pluto and Uranus there. Uranus is going to move into Gemini on July the 7th, and that's another big game changer. 2025 is the most radically changing year in over 4,000 years. We still have one last planet to just move into Gemini, the sign of communications, artificial intelligence, AI, all of that stuff, new technology, radical new ideas, but also duality. Gemini is dualistic, kind of it's youthful, it's not mature. Again, it can be imposed ideas and structures, and Pluto and Uranus are going to be trying each other. So if you think things are going fast now, we're already halfway through 2025. They're going to be even faster once Uranus enters Gemini, but it won't stay there. Neither will Saturn or Neptune. They're all going to move back. Saturn and Neptune are moving back to Pisces briefly, and then they will meet February 20th, 2026 in a very historic 0 degrees of Aries meeting point. And Uranus and Gemini, this is just the appetizer year. Again, everything kind of clicks in 2026 as well. So we have to wait and see what's going to develop out of this. What kind of new ideas, new communications. Is this, Trump said we bombed 3 nuclear power plants to make peace. Well, people thought he was a peacemaker. He kept saying he was a peacemaker. I mean, nobody benefits from Iran having nuclear weapons, that's for sure. And you want to have a free world. Uranus is about freedom. We will have to see. So keep praying, stay centered in where you are, stay in your emotional body. That's really what counts. And if you want to get in touch with me, I'm at tarottarot.com.